Please join me in giving a warm UCLA welcome to our 2025 College Commencement distinguished speaker, Sara Bareilles.
Woo! Thank you so much. You didn't mention that the TV show is canceled. So, pretty good, guys. Pretty good. I have to start by, I am so full of pride. My cheeks already ache from smiling. This is an incredible day. Congratulations. I love seeing how proud you are of yourselves and your families. So one more time, huge round of applause for the class of 2025. It has been amazing to be back here at UCLA. I haven't been back on campus in many years. They mentioned I graduated in 2003 and we were chatting backstage, and some of you were born right around then. So feeling pretty good. All right, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have had a hell of a time wrapping my brain around what to say to you. Like a tremendously hard time writing this speech. I'm usually pretty good at stuff like this. I like talking to people. I like writing. I like cobbling together some sincerity and a couple of jokes. But for some reason, this has felt different. Over the last several months, I have sat down to write this speech no less than a dozen times. Until 2 days ago, they asked me to turn this speech in weeks ago, and they're like, where is it? Until 2 days ago, I was really pulling my hair out trying to find a way in. So I finally decided instead to spend some time looking inward to try and examine why I was having such a hard time figuring out what to say to you. After some reflection, I realized that I don't know what to say to you. Right now, I really want to tell you the truth. And the truth is that as much as I can be in love with the world, which I am, it is impossible to be in this moment in our country, in our city, and in the world, and not acknowledge that this is scary. I am deeply concerned for us. For all of us. I'm shocked and enraged by what I see unfolding in our government and on our streets, and I'm tired of self-righteous hot takes and misinformed oversimplifications that populate our screens and especially our minds. It feels like cruelty and a lack of empathy are gaining traction, spreading like a virus, and sometimes I feel like I have caught it too. I found myself recently in a real crisis of faith, not in God or a higher power, but in humanity. And generally, as a rule of thumb, we don't invite the super anxious one having the crisis of faith in humanity to give the speeches to the people. It can be a real buzzkill, you know what I'm saying? But what can I say? We live on the edge. It made me wonder if this crisis of faith is here to teach me something that we might learn together in real time. My best friend, Gavin Creel, passed away in September of last year. He was the closest I have ever come to experiencing someone as a literal ball of light. Generous, hilarious, handsome, my favorite voice on the planet. When we met for the first time, I was convinced I was actually in love with him. I mean, he was gay. But the connection was so special, I was willing to overlook that small detail. Thankfully, my crush dissipated, and we settled into a loving friendship that lasted a little over a decade, but changed my life forever. In what we did not know would be the last year of his life, Gavin got the word both tattooed on his wrist. It was inspired by a poem that I'll read to you that he found on a greeting card. Everything is both wonderful and terrible, boring and exciting. It's okay that it's both, obvious and hidden, simple and complicated. What a relief that everything can be both, light and dark, celebratory and melancholy. I didn't particularly like the tattoo at first. It seemed sort of pedestrian in some way. But I saw his commitment to this way of thinking. I saw him put it into practice. And I started to see what he saw, that two things can be true at the same time. In fact, they often are. More nuance everywhere. We are taught from a young age to value certainty, that it embodies strength, it makes us safe. Schooling is in many ways built upon the idea that there are right answers to questions. And lots of times there are. Math or whatever. But there is so much more to learn about this life and about each other, about the gray areas, about the crises of faith, the messy middle. What would happen if we can learn to stay curious instead of certain? Walking with Gavin through his illness and his death last year was one of the most brutal and beautiful, scary and sacred experiences of my life. He was 48 years old when he died, and the time between his diagnosis and his death was 3 months and 3 days. They were both the longest and the shortest months of my life. On a particularly hard day, I was at my house in upstate New York. A summer storm had passed through, and I was doubled over with grief and the powerlessness of losing my friend. I went outside into the backyard in the pouring rain and sort of inexplicably started dancing. I blame Chapel Roan. I felt completely obliterated and utterly alive at the exact same time. And I will never forget the feeling of that discovery, that grief is both awe and ache, so closely intertwined that you can't tell them apart sometimes. Your lives will be so many things, and oh my God, I hope so much of it is wonderful. But when it is not, when it is complicated and thorny, and when it inevitably breaks your heart, which it will, I hope you can reach for the wisdom in that too. Pain is a skillful teacher, and we are in painful times that can teach us so much, but only if we stay willing and awake to the infinite nature of all of it. That's how we keep growing up. There's a phenomenon in natural settings called the growth edge. The most new growth happens on the edges of the leaves at the edge of the forest. This is also where all the exposure to danger and the elements happen too, right there on the edge. But there they are, the brave cells dividing, the new pale green tips reaching into new territory, claiming space and expansion. It makes me think about my own growth edges, the places in my life where I have felt a dizzying combination of faith and doubt, a sense of yes, I can, but also what if I can't? Taking a chance on a life pursuing music went pretty well. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Yeah. It's okay. We're moving on. Staying in a love that scared me because I felt too seen and too vulnerable. Speaking out, even if it means I will fall out of someone's favor. Owning the fact that I carry anxiety to a degree that I cannot manage without medication. If you come for my Lexapro, I will cut a bitch. This time in your life is both a beginning and an ending. You are no longer a student orienting towards the cyclical rhythm of your education. And if you are anything like I was, stepping away from that security might feel like a free fall, groundless and terrifying. But fear is a fantastic indicator of a growth edge. And I dare you to go towards your discomfort with curiosity and see what's there. What if we can stay curious instead of certain? For me, this practice opens a kind of parachute. It opens the aperture of your perspective to slow down enough to see that you are falling, yes, but you are also flying. We all are. My favorite poet, Andrea Gibson, says, "Someday we will dare to trade good for true." And as I told you at the beginning, I just want to tell you the truth. And the truth is that I think my crisis of faith in humanity might just be an invitation to stay curious instead of certain, to remember that I am humanity too, and this is a growth edge for all of us. To quote Lionel Richie, Tina Turner, and Huey Lewis at the exact same time, we are the world. And the world is full of awful and spectacular things. What a relief that it can be both. And I think to love the world, to love this exact world with its chaos and cruelty and beauty and brilliance, is to pack your parachute, find the edge, and jump. Thank you.